From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claim to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One diaphragm for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off, but I really, really wish I was taking a day off.
Your dick's still giving you pain.
I am not even gonna fucking entertain this bullshit today, Ollie, because I'm too fucking excited about the weekend I had.
Good weekend then, yeah?
It was a great weekend.
Manchester, Canal Street.
I got pummeled fucking senseless. Like, literally. The only thing that's seen more traffic than me is fucking London Heathrow.
Well, you did fall. You've got a tired Lee right now. Because you travelled over to your little island last night.
I did.
On your little ferry, and I said, Lee, check this out. Check this video out. It's your man. Eric Weinstein, who you really like. Yeah.
So right. Well, let's. I'll give a slight broader fucking stroke of this because I'm pretty pleased about it. I was over in the UK this weekend. It was the British Open. Jiu-jitsu British Open. My son was competing and he walked away with a silver medal in his class and weight. So that was fucking awesome. So we probably had, especially he definitely had, because he's only small, definitely had too much of a late night on that evening. Then the next evening I traveled back to my little island from the big island. I was very, very late. And I've had to go to work today, and I'm almost fucking dead, if we're all honest. Almost dead. And unfortunately, you wanted me to listen to a podcast in preparation for tonight's episode. It's
Stephen Bartlett, and he's got it's from the Diary of a CEO. Quite like the podcast. Good podcast.
I've never actually watched it. I've seen him before.
He was on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
He's the only one I've ever liked on Dragon's Den because he doesn't seem like a twat.
Oh, no, I think he seems like a twat. Yeah.
Oh, no. I disagree.
Yeah. No, it's fine. We're allowed. Just remind you that once Dave disagreed with me, and now look.
Well, I mean,
that was a joke, by the way, people. Just those out there with knickers and
Stephen Bartlett, I think what he's doing, he doesn't need to do because the guy's he's a rich guy. He's got a fucking lot of money. He's invested into a lot. I genuinely think his podcast is just a fucking love of doing it.
Probably. Yeah. Am I saying that? There's you get popular podcasts, man. There's a lot of money to be done in it. A lot of money to be made out of, not when you're fucking lowly,
He's fucking
bottom feeding
loaded.
scavengers,
Yeah, he's
bottom
fucking
feeding
loaded,
scavengers
mate.
like us. But yeah, like I bet his podcast, mate, it's definitely worth doing it for the time he probably spends fucking doing it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so it's the diaries of the diaries of a CEO. I don't know why I can't fucking say that, with Stephen Bartlett. Really good. And I sent this to Lee tonight. Says, Lee, let's watch this before the show. It's fucking great, especially at the 1 hour 50 mark when he starts to get into UFOs. And then we're going to get into a bit of Jeffrey Epstein as well. But I'm going to bring this clip up now because you started listening to it. And because I thought that was a real pet then, I thought you had a new pet. For a second, I thought Lee's beat me there. For the audio listeners, Lee just brought a fucking I don't know what it was. Is it a fish?
It's a little sharky.
Oh, a little shark, yeah, cute little bastard. But I sent you this, and because you love Eric Weinstein that much, he sent you to sleep.
Well, it's the fucking ASMR voice he's got, isn't it? And like, I was so tired. I thought, right, this is good, and it was interesting. Don't get me wrong. The 30 seconds I got into it, I stuck it on and thought, right, here we go.
So I told you to play at 1 minute. At 1 hour 50. So you got to 1 hour 50 in 30 seconds.
Pretty much, yeah. Probably
Right, okay.
33 seconds to be honest. The way we go,
it will be 33. Of course, it will. Right, here we go. Let's bring Stephen and Weinstein up. Let's get right into this. So this is about the UFO program in the US, and I find this fucking fascinating what he says about this.
They've never heard of the 1946 and 54 Atomic Energy Acts. They don't know that the Department of Energy that funds them is really the Department of Physics. They don't know the extent to which we went to hide all of this stuff. They don't know that they're not allowed to talk to foreign nationals from hostile nations on our own soil because of a doctrine called deemed exports. There's an entire hidden world of national security. And the penalty for talking about national security with people who don't live that is that you're a conspiracy theorist. It's like, do you have this terminology? Do you know the acts? Do you want to Google it? Well, this is also just something that's really interesting about the UFO UAP world. We had this admission recently that the government knew that at a minimum, and again, I don't think this is by anywhere close to the full story, at a minimum, there were secret, fake special access programs. Do you know about special access programs? Super secret programs are called special access programs. Then there's a further category called unacknowledged special access programs, or USAPs, which is...
He's been watching some Stephen Greer, hasn't he? Unacknowledged. Everybody loves a bit of Greer.
Why do you think that?
Hey?
Why do you think that?
Just because he said unacknowledged. That's the name of Greer's documentary. I mean, I know there are unacknowledged special access programs, but
I guarantee you that if there is anybody in the world of ufology that Eric Weinstein doesn't find interesting or credible, it's probably Stephen Greer.
I disagree. I reckon they've had a barbecue together, but let's carry on.
Let's not forget how just quickly. Let's not forget how tight Weinstein is with Rogan, and how
fucking Rogan can't stand Greer, can he?
Yeah, because Greer wanted paid to come on Rogan. Like that's, I think it's always good to remember that, just because now and again Stephen Greer is really good at making you think that he might be even slightly credible with the sort of stuff he says, when realistically we should all think, right, underneath that pinch of salt is a pile of bullshit.
I do think there's a pinch of salt there, though, with Greer. Me and Nick were
talking
about that last night.
I think he's either controlled.
He's in the fucking know, though.
Do you think?
Definitely in
Why?
the yes.
Why?
I think he's in the know.
show me working out why.
Just be what he says. The confident
right.
level. I think he gets given tip fucking bits.
So what's he said, which isn't anywhere near salacious that you didn't already know?
He has said stuff in the past that people have gone back to, and right now, I couldn't give you that off the top of my head.
That would be the working out I need.
I didn't come prepared for that. You brought Greer.
But this is what I mean. The if I was to say Jake Barber, for instance,
somebody's got out the wrong side of Weinstein's bed.
I'm just saying that I think Eric Weinstein is far more connected than Stephen Greer, and he doesn't need him. That's what I mean.
Probably, but I think Greer does. I think he was chosen anyway. I do think Greer has a hand in this, 100%. I think
somebody's queer for Greer.
Somebody's got to be.
Exists, like, you know, maybe warhead recovery might be a known one, but then like there might be an unacknowledged special access program, which is like theft of foreign nuclear warheads, which it's not even on the books. Only the super secret lawmakers, in the Gang of Eight or whatever it is, can know that exists. And then there are further designations of secretness. There's waived and bigoted. So you can have like a waived, bigoted, unacknowledged special access program, and you don't know any of this language. And then there's this chorus of morons who, the instant you start to educate people about the existence of the super secret squirrel club, rise up and say, this is all conspiracy theory. And you're saying, wait a second, we just admitted in UFO UAP land that we have a fake special access program, which I predicted on Joe Rogan. I said, we may be faking a UFO situation. The cost and the penalty at a personal level for letting people know how the government keeps secrets is personal destruction.
The US faked a UFO program?
Yes, correct. You don't know about this. I think the Wall Street Journal had an article about it. So these guys knew when they filed their reports on the UFO UAP that there actually is, at a minimum, a fake UFO UAP program.
Why would they want to fake UFOs?
This is so weird. Did you happen to watch Joe Rogan episode 1945, where I talked about the whole history of the golden age of general relativity and its relationship to UFO, UAP, anti-gravity research?
Do you think Eric Weinstein knows all of the episodes of Joe Rogan numbers off by heart, or just the ones he's been on?
If you went on Joe Rogan, would you remember the hashtag number that you're on?
No, I absolutely would do. But I also like the idea that he knows every single episode of Joe Rogan.
He's a big fan.
Remember 24869? You know, he had the guy on which invented the jam donut.
I'd be all over that show, by the way. But I would be, if Joe, bring back Greer. Just do it. Pay him £10. Just bring that man back on. I would fucking love to see Greer back on Rogan, because I think I think there would be some, like, you know, when Greer's like just giving out fucking names. Well, not giving out names, but giving out like information with nothing to back it up. I think Joe would press him on that, and I think there would be. Oh God, I could just it would there would be some drama in the air there. I'd love it. Anyway, let's get on with this.
Church and the atomic bomb.
I didn't know.
Okay. When we invaded the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, that was called Operation Overlord. We had an entirely fake invasion planned of Norway called Operation Fortitude that was part of Operation Bodyguard, which is part of just total deception. And why? Because we were building up troops to do something huge. So we tried to convince, We like planted plans for the invasion of Norway on dead bodies to wash up on beaches so the Germans would find them. We fake stuff all the time. That's what we do. And you can't talk about what we do that is deceptive without being ruined by what are called covert influence operations. Like if you watch my Twitter account, you'll see all sorts of accounts descend on it. Fraud, charlatan, grifter, blah, 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 blah. Some of that is just people being mean. But you'll notice that, like, if I really start talking about physics and I start talking about security and I start talking about things that anyone can Google and most of us don't think to do it, suddenly it gets really, really intense. And the whole point is it's supposed to be untraceable. It's supposed to be a way in which, like almost certainly, we know a ton about what happened in the Wuhan Institute of Virology because of 2 bioweapons conventions that we were signatories to and which we ratified. The Geneva Convention and a bioweapons convention in the 1970s. But that's not top of mind for ordinary people. They just watched, their great grandma die, and they watched their children get sick, and they watched their own brain fog. They can't know whether that was a bioweapon that we were working on coming out of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill with Ralph Barrick's lab. We're up to constant secret stuff.
Why would they fake the UFOs though? What was that distraction?
You ever
for?
seen the B-2 bomber?
Yeah.
What if you saw that before we were ready to say it existed?
Yeah, you'd think it was a UFO or something.
So wouldn't it be better if we had a UFO story ready to go when we had cool aerospace?
Oh, okay. So you're saying they're working on something which they didn't want you to know. So
what's more, what if we convinced China or Russia or Iran that we had incredible powers that they don't have? Then they might be very reluctant to strike us. Or they might waste a tremendous amount of money developing anti-gravity technology when there's no such thing. There are plenty of good reasons to fake such things. Why would we why would we plan an invasion of Norway if we weren't going to invade?
But if
I'm going to stop it there because that's the bit that I wanted to get there, because this leads very much on with what me and Nick were speaking last night. We went into the case with the I forgot the guy's name that went on that podcast talking about the UFO that he saw on the monitor.
Lonnie Zarman.
Lonnie Zarman. No,
Zamora?
not Lonnie Zamora. No.
Oh.
We did speak about Lonnie Zamora, but it wasn't. His name wasn't Lonnie Zamora. Lonnie Zamora, the guy with the egg. But the did you say that this guy interviewed Lonnie Zamora for the podcast?
No. It's just that's what I knew you talked about it.
Oh yeah, we talked about Lonnie Zamora. I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, this leads so much into that because I wonder if that's what they are doing. Can you imagine if China, Russia, and like the US is like fucking just show them they've got some fucking UFOs. They're either going to do one thing, they're either going to believe us, and they're going to scramble for this information and waste fucking loads of resources, or they're going to fucking, I don't know, show their cards. I think that it's that 5D chess, isn't it?
I mean, it would. If you take everything from the Tic Tac UFO, like everything that's come out as far as like UFO disclosure has come out through like whistleblowers. So the question there is like, I don't. People say, oh, there's a Whistleblower Protection Act and stuff like that now. Do you believe that? Do you know what I mean? Do you believe after what happened to like Seth Rich and stuff like that, that people can come out like and go like whistleblow to people that with stuff that shouldn't be out there, and they'll be okay. I don't think that's possible. I think the only reason this information is out is not because of brave whistleblowers coming forward. It's because it's allowed to come out, and the Tic Tac incident in particular, it's perfect, isn't it? If you wanted a psyop, because it's a credible witness that everybody will believe. That's clearly a full-on like patriot to his country. And
well, this is what I said last night.
No evidence.
I said with David Fravor, because I think Mink West saying that David Fravor doesn't know the difference between a fucking bird and a UFO is just bullshit. David Fravor either saw what he saw or he is lying for his country.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
It could even be a mixture of the two. Like we don't know what we like we've talked on this show before, haven't we, about the heating like plasma up or something like that, and you can create balls and stuff like that. So maybe we can create the illusion of this technology. So maybe he did see some. Maybe he believes he's telling the truth, but in actual fact, he's telling the story of a carefully constructed illusion. But it's like I say, it's perfect. It makes me wonder about the MH370 stuff there.
Yeah.
Like and we've always said that you couldn't have faked that in such a time. If you had all of the data, like the idea of people saying you couldn't fake that all like in that time, I agree with that, but I would caveat that and saying you couldn't do that, do all that fakery, unless you had like special access knowledge. So the government could have done.
What if the MH370 footage
is faked by the government to give the illusion to be? Yeah, so
but it was made because that thing. This is what they say, and I stick by this that footage. Nobody spoke about that footage back in the day. Nobody.
Yeah, I agree. Like I've I don't know how long it's been since I've said something like this on the podcast.
And I'm definitely Team Ashton, by the way, 100%.
Yeah, no, me too.
But my point there is, I was fucking balls deep into UFOs at the time. Balls fucking deep, watching every fucking UFO video I could get my fucking nipples on. I never saw that. Now it's either we've had it's a Mandela effect, or we've had a time shift, or maybe I didn't see it. Maybe the elite made it weeks before the plane went missing, knowing that plane was going to go missing.
Maybe they took the plane out to give the videos credence.
I mean, nobody. I don't think anybody's thought of that. I don't think anybody's even said that. You hear these new things all the time, right here on the daily fucking motherfucking conspiracy bastard podcast.
Nothing would surprise me, but I agree with you that footage wasn't being talked about at the time. You were like really swinging some hammer with Alien Addict. That would have come up.
I'd have fucking shown that video.
Yeah, there'd have been a show about it. And not in the not even about MH370. It would have just been a video of like, did these fucking UFOs abduct a passenger plane? The thing with it is, if they are going to go to these lengths to create the illusion of this technology, you got to ask. I think it's got to be more than just we want China to think we've got it, and then they're going to put loads of money into something. Are China that stupid? I don't think China that stupid.
I don't think China's stupid at all. I've been to the country, and
no. But what I mean is that it's in the same way as when we saw the floating city. Remember the Sky City on that Chinese video? Do you think the American government going, "Oh my God, they got floating cities"? I don't think so. I don't think they went, "Oh my God."
I think they've probably tested some holographic technology, some blue beam shit. And that's what somebody recorded. I don't think that was faked. I think that's.
Oh no!
I think somebody.
Yeah, there was something to that. That might be the coolest, like anomaly in the sky video I think that's ever been shown.
Where is that now?
But what I was going to say,
I don't think you can get that anymore. I think it's gone.
Nah, be places. I bet it's on YouTube. The thing I was going to say before about the Alien Addict was I was really surprised. For those that don't know, like when I came to you to start doing episodes on Alien Addict and came in as just like a regular guest before we went in together. I remember thinking to myself, because you were speaking to people that have been doing this shit for years, I thought to myself, oh, awesome. I'm going to see some like new things to me that these guys have been around forever, that just haven't come across my radar. And I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's a fucking spaceship. And it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we talked about, everything that was brought up, I'd seen before. And I was really surprised by that, because I never considered myself a guy looking for UFO videos, but nothing good was new to me. I'd seen all the good stuff. So that makes me think I'd have already seen the MH370 videos, because I'd seen all the other stuff.
See, I think the UFO thing, believe it or not, this sounds fucking so gay, but I think this is one of the most important subjects out there, because it's either a massive fucking psyop or it's real. Both have fucking testicles.
Yeah, you're right. I think, and it didn't have to be that way either. It only became, because like forever up until 2017, the official response was, it's bullshit, guys. There's no little green men in spaceships, usually with the X-Files theme tune playing in the background. But only 2017 changed it, where all of a sudden there was some sort of official acknowledgement of it. And I've always said from 2017 that all of a sudden they wanted your mum and dad to stop believing in UFOs, and we've still no idea why. There is still, it might not even be a government thing, but there is still an entity out there, and by entity I just mean group, not like a creature, an entity out there that is connected and powerful enough to push a narrative. Like, I'm not going to say globally, because it's becoming more and more apparent that the West is as good at keeping things that aren't from the West out of the West than places not of the West, than other countries out of the West are of keeping the West out of their countries. No, there's an illusion of freedom that is, I wouldn't call it like a Western Iron Curtain, but there's definitely like a drape around us. Do you know what I mean? Where you can kind of see out of it, but it's a bit murky, like a security screen behind a changing room or something like that.
Yeah.
There's definitely something filtering certain things out. So, like, why that? Why did they change it? Because they've created this by going down this road, like you say, they've made it a psyop. There's like either they're lying to you about what they're telling you, or it's 100% real.
Well, speaking of people lying to you about what they're telling you, we still don't have those Epstein files. But straight away, after talking about these UFOs...
Just quickly before you go into this, have you heard about Jizzy Maxwell?
It depends.
Jizzy Maxwell's reportedly said that she's willing to testify over the Epstein case.
Oh, yes, I heard that. I fucking heard that, yes.
So that's so weird. Like the fact that there is... so the Republicans supposedly blocked the release of the Epstein files, whatever we want to call it, and now all of a sudden she's come out. Do you know what? I'm willing to fucking give. I'm willing to give this breathing space before I go full bullshit again with it, and it's made me think, like when Musk sort of said like Trump's on the list, and that's why we're not releasing them. There was people already going, they're doing this because they want the other side to demand the release for them, so they're not the blockade of it. And it kind of feels that way. It kind of feels like what they've done is unwittingly made the people that would have tried to stop this coming out. You know, you've got AOC out there now screaming, saying we should have the Epstein files out because Trump's a like grapist.
Grapist,
you know,
massively into those grapes.
She reckons he loves a bit of graping. But yeah, I just wonder now with Maxwell coming out, could this be that the powers that be think there's something in there that could take Trump out, so they want to put it? I don't know. I'm so confused by it all now.
Well, I mean, speaking of lists, I mean, I think there's people going to be on that list that didn't necessarily do anything, though. Do you know what I mean? I think the list of people that would have gone and done business with that man. Let me play this clip because it sounds like fucking Weinstein was. Well, Weinstein met him, didn't he?
But I think there's a difference between people meeting people and people going to the island. I think a lot of people met people.
I think he went. I think as there's another interview I was watching it before this where he said he was sat in a room with him on a table with an American flag on the table that you could just spill coffee on. He was made a big deal about being able to spill coffee on the American flag. Anyway, let me play this.
Because our government isn't good enough to keep its own secrets. This is an abomination. You cannot destroy your A team.
Who are you referring to when you say people are being destroyed? Are you referring to people like yourself?
You know, if you look at, for example, Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein conducted a conference called Confronting Gravity.
Can I just
I don't
stop
know
it
who
for
Jeffrey
2
Epstein
seconds?
was, but I'll...
Yep.
So I got this oddly enough before I fell asleep before when we was talking about the other things. There is here. I want body specialists to analyze this and analyze how Eric Weinstein's acting in this. He's He's incredibly confident with what he's saying. His I think like his words are like singing with his eyes. He's focused. He knows what he wants to say. I 100% believe that this interview has been constructed in a way. Yeah, I don't believe he's I don't think these questions that are coming at him are a surprise to him. I think he's discussed with the
We didn't
interviewer.
ask him about Jeffrey Epstein. He brought that. He didn't ask in this. I've watched this full interview. It's a great interview. He never asked him about UFOs. He never asked him about Jeffrey Epstein.
No, but the questions are very much placed in a way that he can bring it to those subjects.
Fair.
And that's oddly enough, that's why I think it's a constructed interview. It feels watching this like he has things he wants to say, and maybe the idea is to say them on a large platform rather than just going all out and trying to do the same thing on Rogan, where I 50 quid says he does a Rogan where they go more in depth on these things. Like within
I
the
hope
next
so.
few weeks.
This is a fucking wild interview.
But the interesting thing with his body language to me, as like an armchair body language analyst, is how stiff it is. He's confident in what he's saying. I think he comes across as truthful in what he's saying, but he's very tense. He's uncomfortable saying what he's saying.
Maybe, yeah. It's got fucking some legs to it. Right. I've put it back a tiny bit just to regurgitate that.
Go.
Because our government isn't good enough to keep its own secrets. This is an abomination. You cannot destroy your A team.
Who are you referring to when you say people are being destroyed? Are you referring to people like yourself?
You know, if you look at, for example, Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein conducted a conference called Confronting Gravity. I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, but I would certainly bet money that he was a product of at least one or more elements of the intelligence community.
The CIA, the FBI.
Those are ours, right? Department of Homeland Security has some of this stuff. Geospatial intelligence has some of this. You know, it's a large network. I'm talking about people like David Grush. I'm talking about people potentially like David Fravor. I'm talking about people like Jake Barber. I'm talking about scientists like Leo Szilard. Imagine if Leo Szilard didn't know that the Manhattan Project was going on, or Jack Raper, a journalist who broke a story. These people all think that they're doing their jobs. I desperately want to know why Jeffrey Epstein knew so much about my work. And I want to know why he was connected to my graduate program. I was in the Harvard mathematics department. Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely connected to the Harvard math department. I want to know why.
How was he connected to the math department?
You're pushing me to say things I'm not going to say.
But
I don't mind.
I'm curious. I'm not trying to push you.
I understand, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm saying that anybody who wants to...
You said he was connected to the math department?
To the Harvard mathematics department.
How did you know he was connected?
You can Google it. You could Google it right now. This is not... I can point at all sorts of stuff that's hidden in plain sight.
So I'll take your word for it. And the assertion that I'm picking up on is that Jeffrey Epstein was planted in your world to keep...
I'm not saying he's planted. I don't know who he was. I don't know who ran him. He certainly was not a financier in any standard sense.
Really?
That was a cover story, yes.
The way that we know Jeffrey Epstein, in the UK especially, is just this guy who was this rich guy who had this island, who brought people there and then did these despicable things.
Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's the story.
Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. It's called perseveration. He was a disgraced financier. What kind of a financier? A disgraced one. What was his name? Oh, he was disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. They perseverate that into your mind so that you auto-complete that in your LLM life. Do you believe that that's what Jeffrey Epstein was?
You met him.
Yeah. I can tell that
financier.
He wasn't a financier the day I met him.
What was he?
He was a weird guy who didn't seem to know a lot about currency trading. Claiming to run a multi-billion-dollar FX hedge fund.
When you say a weird guy, what made him weird?
Same stuff I've said on Chris Williams. I'm not going to go back through that. Just my point is, you're getting a different interview, right?
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to get at is Jeffrey Epstein knew a tremendous amount about my work when nobody knew anything about my work. And he had a pipeline into me that I didn't understand, which is that he was connected to my graduate program. And you can check out the conference called Exploring Gravity.
And hosted a physical workshop called Confronting Gravity.
Confronting Gravity, that's right.
In March 2006.
Yeah, what is Jeffrey Epstein?
Okay, he
2
read a
seconds,
note.
can
He
I-
read a note there, didn't he? He read a note on the desk. That was a pre-question.
Yeah. There was notes there. There was notes that you would think that the conversation they're having, like you just said, he didn't have Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.
Or was
just
that an
came on.
iPad and he just typed that company in?
I don't think he's.
I think he's got a Jamie in the background that says
Maybe there's someone like putting stuff on that. I'm not sure. I would go with you that was notes. I think there's something more interesting about that is the fact that he turned around and said, "I'm not getting into that. I already said that on Chris Williams' podcast." Chris Williams is the handsome chap. His podcast is called Modern Wisdom. It's really good. Now, I mean, fair enough, right? Jeffrey Epstein, sorry, not Jeffrey Epstein, Christ almighty, Eric Weinstein is a brilliant man. Like, he's next level fucking brilliant guy. You can disagree with me all you want. Like, I don't, the harder you disagree with me, the wronger you are. That being said, he does, I mean, I don't know if he does hundreds of podcasts. I'm sure he's done hundreds of podcasts over the years, including his own. He's definitely done hundreds of podcasts, including his own. Can you, and maybe this is my own aptitude, just for a split second, when your job is talking about things like this, or like a big part of your job, I should say, is going out and talking about things like this. How intelligent do you have to be to recall what you said on somebody else's show? Just off the cuff like that. I said that on this different podcast. You're getting a different interview. That's one of two things.
Yeah, but he would have remembered what he said on, was it Chris Williams?
Would he? Would you?
If you put a bombshell out about Jeffrey Epstein,
do you think? Yes. No. But this is what I mean. This is,
I think that's the only one he's done that with.
But this is the thing. It's a bombshell to us. To him, he's just recalling his own. He's recalling his own knowledge.
No. I disagree there, because that clip has been played a lot. He will have seen that from his trolls. He would have seen that from loads of people saying
maybe I'm not doing the thing.
So being on the island, or
but you've got to think that he has done X amount of podcasts in between that to call it off the cuff like that. But for him to turn around and say, "I said that on the Chris Williams podcast," you are getting a different interview.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that means he has gone into this interview knowing what he wants to say.
Oh, I bet he watched that, Chris.
Yeah.
I bet he watched that before he went on. Like, for some reason, he wants to get this information out there.
I always get the impression with. I'm sure he's going to go into it if we play this.
I can play a bit more.
I always get the impression of Brett Weinstein, of Eric Weinstein. Sorry, Brett's brother, isn't it? There is an increasing desperation in, even though he talks. I'm not going to accuse him of talking in riddles, but he's almost talking in code sometimes.
He does. He talks in code a lot.
He talks as if he's talking. He's talking between the lines And if you're smart enough to make the sentences up, that's it's kind of down to you.
Well, mate, Stephen Bartlett at the end of this, and spoiler alert, but go watch the full podcast because this is a fucking banger, guys. But he says like he is literally. He says this has been like so interesting, but I have more questions now than I had before. You know, just because he does speak very much in his whole wording is he's a very clearly a fucking very intelligent man.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more intelligent than me, but he's very coded in what he says. Like you
which
need to
makes
be
me
in
think,
there to know.
But that makes me think. I think that's a security thing, and I think he knows how close he can get to the line without becoming a danger to himself and his family.
What if he's putting this information out there though? Because he's like, "They'll fuck you. You ain't having me."
Well, no, because he's not actually putting the information out there. He's not saying the things. Like he's
just kind of playing.
Yeah.
Epstein is very focused on gravity.
Was it a gravity conference?
Yeah.
It was about gravity.
Yeah.
What the fuck was he doing talking about bloody gravity if he's a financier?
It was very important to get Nobel laureates and some of the smartest people on Earth to come to the Virgin Islands and talk about gravity. Stephen Hawking was there, David Gross was there, Lawrence Krauss was there, Lisa Randall was there, right before his conviction. And I'm telling you, he was very focused on the Harvard math department, and he knew all about me in ways that he wasn't supposed to.
I mean, Lee, he's just talked about fucking UFOs.
Right.
And he's talking about Epstein at a fucking gravity fucking conference.
So that
do you not think that? But do you see what I'm seeing there?
Yeah. No.
He's gone straight from UFOs to Jeffrey Epstein.
This is you're 100% right. It's hardly like origami. It's like sticking Duplo blocks together. It clearly goes together.
I struggled with that.
But it's the subtext is the more interesting thing about this to me. The subtext of this is to me, and I could be like a complete fucking retard. The subtext is Jeffrey Epstein was not running an underage sex ring.
Yep.
He was not like a child molester. Whatever it was, whatever was going on with Jeffrey, and I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein, angel man. That's not what I'm trying to say. Whatever he was doing was so protected. The entire Epstein Island child trafficking ring was a suitable psyop to cover it. We place this over the top of it. We all talk about QAnon being like a psyop.
Can you fucking imagine if
without QAnon, right? Without QAnon, I don't get me wrong, there'll be a load of people that go, no, I knew. No, you didn't. Before the QAnon stuff, before the trust the plan stuff, you didn't think about the elite. You didn't think about adrenochrome and stuff like that. This all came after QAnon. That was probably some sort of government psyop. So what if that was what it was for? It was because whatever was going on with Jeffrey Epstein, they needed to take him out of the picture. They needed it was getting too close. The heat was getting there. Maybe whatever he was doing was against whoever was behind QAnon, and they wanted something to get rid of him, to get it stopped. Or what if it was to send it underground?
Right. Hold your 2 pence worth there. Are you saying what I think you're saying? That maybe Jeffrey Epstein wasn't nonsense and he was possibly taken out. Like fucking Jeffrey Epstein's innocent of being a complete fucking monster.
Oh yeah, wait, look, just because he might not be like a nonce doesn't mean that he's not a monster. Do you know what I mean? There have been plenty of serial killers out there that only killed adults, still monsters. But it would be perfect, wouldn't it? If you had something huge,
it would be fucking perfect. God,
that is so all encompassing. So all encompassing. It's all people talk about. It will become the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory.
Right. Let's play a little bit more.
And just let me finish. And it makes perfect fucking sense. What have we got as far as victims go? We have
a dead one.
A dead one, which appears to be a plan. If she's dead, do you know what I mean?
We also had the one that went on.
Let me finish.
Go on.
So we have Virginia Giuffre, who we've been suspicious of ever since. Realistically, I think when everybody was talking about her, we were kind of not. We were never enamored by her. The fact that she got the Netflix deal and stuff like that, and but the question's always been, well, where are the bodies? Where are the bodies? Where are the victims? Then you've got that other, the English lady that came out that was supposedly trafficked, that talked about him turning into a reptilian while he was fucking her or something like that. Was that? Yeah.
This is the lady. I don't know if she was English. She sounded. She had an.
She was English.
Accent. She was English. Okay. She her that went on Project Unity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, that woman seemed fucking insane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is no, I'm right. That rightly so. If she had these terrible things happening to her, and Jeffrey Epstein turned into a lizard, maybe that sends you a bit fucking strange. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But like, where are the others? Like he was supposedly like sending scores of Victoria's Secrets models over and stuff like that. When celebrities put a foot wrong, like there's a photograph of a celebrity that accidentally puts his hand on a woman for too long, there is a barrage of historic offense claims thrown at those people. Where were the Epstein ones?
Well, look at Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly. And the thing is, anybody that worked for a modeling agency like Victoria's Secret in that time could have come forward and said, I was trafficked.
How many Epstein victims have come forward other than the documentary on Netflix?
No, we don't know. And you know what? We really should.
We really fucking should. That way you don't get people having conspiracies over the fucking thing.
So even if the information is out there, it's at least, it's certainly not surface level, and it's at least buried deep enough that people like us, which, I mean, fair enough, like I will never claim that this show is like the deep dive show. There have been podcasts out there like Those Conspiracy Guys and stuff like that, which put like an inordinate amount of work into like looking into this sort of stuff, and then they go and pull out a fucking 8-hour podcast about Jeffrey Epstein. But and that's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, that stuff is awesome, but we can't do that and be a daily podcast. We always have to be like just below the surface, like subdermal level conspiracy podcast. But we would have talked about more victims. Ollie had something to say, then he's got interrupted. This is highly unprofessional, Ollie.
Sorry, mate. My little boy's just come in and asked me a question.
I'll kick him in his little cock if he does that again.
Right. So I hear what you're saying there. Hear me out here, though. I think possibly I had a thought then. What if what they're doing right now, by holding this information, they know that the conspiracy theorists are going to do a fucking full-on...
8D chess. We're to 8D chess now. Yeah, drifting into 9. Yeah.
They know, what if they... Right, let's just keep this going, because eventually they'll just fucking say he's innocent. They'll say he's fucking innocent and we took him out. And that's what they want. That they'll get all the conspiracy fucking turns that fucking Jeffrey Epstein was fucking innocent. And that's what the conspiracy theorists will do.
Yeah. It could be.
I can see this happening right now.
In the same way I said that in the future we'll be the conspiracy theorists for not believing in UFOs and aliens.
Yeah. Let me play this last bit.
I have to be clear. I have to be clear on my understanding of what you're saying. From what I understood, and you can say, Steve, I'm not going to answer that, whatever, but I just have to, because you've opened up a curiosity hole in my mind.
Sure.
So let me try and fill it, even if it's the conversation I had with Chris.
I'll just evade you.
Fine. Fine. You're within the right to evade me. And I hold the right to ask, which is, what I'm hearing is you believe, and I'm just going to say it how I think it is, what I'm hearing is you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was planted in some way to interfere.
He was a construct, is what I said.
He was a construct in some way to mess with the progression of physics.
Jeffrey Epstein, apparently, I think I'll tell you what I said. When I met him, when the meeting was over, I immediately called my wife and I said, I have just met a construct. She said, what do you mean? I said, this person is not who they claim to be. Somebody has constructed this human being to be something that they are not, which is a hedge fund genius. Somebody who could understand the euro and the yen like nobody else. Bullshit. Not true. I believe that whoever constructed Jeffrey Epstein was running multiple different programs through the same thing, having put in a large initial investment. It wasn't about one thing. If you build a mall, you don't just have clothing stores in the mall, you have a food court in the mall, right? You have jewelry in the mall. You have all sorts of different things in the mall. Jeffrey Epstein was a construct of something that was running multiple things. One of those things was science. And I don't think that the science and the pedophilia were necessarily in the same bucket. He was funding all sorts of people. I don't think everybody at that, part of the problem with calling his plane the Lolita Express and calling his island Pedophile Island is that you just can't see all the different things that were going through this guy. I don't think almost any of those scientists are exposed, maybe a few of them, but very few of them, to anything really horrible. I think he was trying to keep a periscope on everything that was interesting. And I think that his girlfriend's father, Robert Maxwell, was all through scientific publishing. And I think Pergamon Press was in part a control mechanism for making sure that revolutionary discoveries were taking place within a framework. Anybody can look, you can write a Substack article and you can hit post and suddenly the world has access to your Substack article. That is a nightmare. What if somebody posts, weaponized anthrax? What if they do the equivalent of saying, what if there's a neutral proton?
So you think he was controlling science?
I think that Robert Maxwell was in part trying to control science. I think Jeffrey Epstein was in part trying to fund science, trying to control it. I don't really know. Again, part of the problem with why conspiracy theorists have a bad name is that they're not content to live in ignorance. And I mean, I am. I know something is really off with this story. If you look at me saying things like, you don't know whether Biden is going to make it to November. Ha, 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 Eric, what an idiot, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then he has a debate. He doesn't make it to November. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just dumb enough to say something in public that makes sense. Let me say something in public that makes sense. Our national security people suck at their jobs. The people who are in charge of the Department of Energy, which is masking the Department of Physics, which is masking the Department of Nuclear Weapons, right? The Atomic Energy Acts, which are really about atomic weaponry, recast as Atoms for Peace or who knows what. Jeffrey Epstein, who is not a disgraced financier. The newspapers that have always had a national interest component and have liaisons so that they can work with the CIA and the State Department and they do each other's bidding and scratch each other. This whole network is what I've called managed reality. We live in managed reality. We are all in some version of the Truman Show. And you can look at it, you can Google it. I can give you 1 million search terms. And every time I give 1 million search terms, you'll watch my reputation get torn apart.
Let's stop there. Let's stop there. I want people to go watch it because it is a great interview.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's some nuggets being put in there. There's some
All right,
nuggets.
fine. I think he said Truman Show. We know, Ollie. We know.
I heard you. I heard you, Eric. You know it's flat. It's weird.
It's mind-blowing.
Doesn't it? It leaves a taste in your mouth there. He didn't say it, but it was almost like he was saying it, that maybe Jeffrey Epstein. Am I getting this wrong, or do you know? Are you getting a taste of he's saying maybe Epstein wasn't the fucking monster in that way?
No, I don't. I don't think he's saying he's. I don't.
It's
I think
so coded.
I think monster's the wrong word. I think it confuses things.
Okay.
To say things like that. But the easiest way of saying it is, I think the subtext of this conversation is, like I just said earlier, that the Jeffrey Epstein human trafficker to the stars was a constructed alibi. And that sounds so weird to say that could essentially be an alibi. Just like as a smoke screen. Like it's such a fucking wild idea that anybody would, because let's be perfectly honest about this. I think Epstein has to go along with that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think he has to be part of the plan, if that's the plan. I'll tack two things together because I know Weinstein's a fan of hers. What was the name of the woman that was on Julian Dory's podcast and did Tucker Carlson talking about
I know who you mean.
Was it Deborah something? Not Deborah.
Is she the lady that spoke about entities or?
Yeah, this breakaway civilization stuff.
Yeah.
And please hit us up in the comments on Spotify and whatever platform you're watching this on, so other people can right now go to the comments and see that name if they don't know it. This screams to me Jeffrey Epstein was a conduit between the, as Eric Weinstein would say, the manufactured reality and actual reality, between the acceptable, sanitized version of what we're supposed to look at as being the world and what the world actually is. So again, this is I'm pulling this fucking out of my ass, but the idea that he would be hitting up like incredible and brilliant people to talk about this stuff, was that like a recruitment campaign? You know, like all jokes aside, and I don't mean this in the literal sense, but was it Eric going, come on, hop over the ice wall, the water's fine? But it would be a case of these people would have to be vetted, tested for compliance, and I think that's the brilliance of Weinstein is he's not just highly intelligent. What makes him more interesting and more fun is he is an antagonist as well.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He's a bear poker as well as being brilliant. And I don't think those things work very well in clandestine circles, because they will always be the people that would rage against the machine, not rage with it. But I mean, I've been having these thoughts. I have people that listen to this podcast known for a while. I keep going back. I keep going back to COVID. And there's a reason I keep dragging everything back to COVID is
here we fucking go, people.
But what's happened is there was an accepted version of events. Yeah.
Yep.
That became unaccepted. Sorry, there was an accepted version of events and an unaccepted version of events. And slowly but surely, the accepted version of events failed, and the unacceptable version of events became the accepted version of events.
Yeah.
But the problem I have with that is that both events, the hands are the same body. So it's if you don't believe the death rates of COVID, but the rates of heart attacks and strokes from vaccinated people, if both those sets of statistics essentially come from the same people, then you should treat both with equal scrutiny. I don't think that's being done. And that's where I would love to speak to Eric Weinstein about that. Like I'd love to know when he's talking about manufactured reality.
Yeah.
Then that's a perfect version of it. You've manufactured both hands, and it's, as I've said before, with the amount of information that's out there for things, it becomes a choose your own adventure game. But all choices are bullshit.
Yeah, but going back to the question, do you think what he's saying there, he's kind of implying that maybe Jeffrey Epstein wasn't put in prison for what we think he was put in prison for, and maybe Jeffrey Epstein didn't die because he didn't commit suicide.
I no. I think you're stitching things together too much there.
I mean, he's just come straight out of a fucking UFO conversation.
Yeah, but I think he's no. I think what he's saying is that the entire Epstein story is a construction.
Yeah, but he also said he knew straight away Jeffrey Epstein wasn't who he was saying. Who he was saying he is. He wasn't this fucking big investor. You know, that didn't.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I don't think they used child trafficking to take Jeffrey Epstein out. I think they used it to give him a way out. I don't think he was arrested for fucking anything.
Oh, you think he's still alive?
Oh, of course I think he's still alive. I think we saw him on the island.
On to the next mission.
Those fucking pictures. Maybe that was it. Maybe he was retiring. He was getting on. Maybe he'd done his job.
Yeah. Well, the leading on to this, I have a clip from Newsday.
Just quickly. Did you ever watch The Prisoner?
I watched Prison Break.
No, the Prisoner.
No.
Right. It was a black and white TV show in the, I want to say, 60s. And long and short of it was that there was an island in the middle of nowhere. And it started black and white, went color, I think, halfway through. There was an island, and a guy woke up, I believe, number 6 he was, and he was, if I remember the plot of The Prisoner properly, he was an ex-spy, and obviously when ex-spies start to get past their sell-by date and used, they've got too much information to just get rid of because they're still useful, but they find themselves waking up on this island where they're just kept.
Interesting.
So that would feel if you had somebody like a Jeffrey Epstein that is still in good health and stuff, but you didn't want him, you didn't want him around too much, or like I say, maybe he wanted to get out. Maybe this is just when you hit that level of power, maybe shit's just got to happen. It's like, look, I don't want to do this. All right, Jeff, it's time to initiate your fucking retirement package.
They all have one. Michael Jackson has one. Presley has one.
No, I don't think those people aren't powerful enough. Michael Jackson, like he fucking died of a drug overdose. I don't think he was killed. Yeah, I don't think Prince was killed. The fucking rock stars.
You don't think Kennedy was killed?
No, he was definitely. But I mean, there's another person that maybe that was an out. Maybe he didn't take the out.
You mean he was given the option, didn't take the out?
Mm.
I mean, it's funny you should talk about what was that TV program called again?
You're gonna have to help me there, are you? There's lots of TV.
The one that you just talked about.
Oh, sorry, The Prisoner.
The Prisoner. Okay. Do you ever see the film The Island?
Oh yeah. Very, very similar concept.
Because it's weird that some people have said, and I've heard this being brought up with the Epstein case, that what they were doing on the island, they said that Bill Gates was well, this is what somebody else has said. I'm not saying this, but somebody said that Bill Gates was doing things like he wasn't interested in the girls or anything like that in that way. He was interested in like injecting them with shit, and like they reckoned that some sort of cloning was going on.
There's been,
and that's what the island was about, fucking clones.
People could like people can probably think of more than what I'm going to bring up here. But the whole the island concept is like, it's a fucking old story. Peter Pan was the island concept. Yeah. The Prisoner was the island concept. The island of Dr. Moreau, the island, Shutter Island. Like, these are just things I can fucking knock off the top of my head. What was the one with futuristic one with, forgot the fucking actors. I can see them. Was not Drew Barrymore. It was Una Thurman, and where they had to they escaped because they couldn't have children or something like that. Weren't allowed to have children. What was the fucking name
Children
of it?
of Men?
No, different one. And either way, very, very similar concept to like I'm not sure if they were on an island or not, but it's a very similar concept to like I mean, I'm just coining the term the island concept. It's an old story. The idea of there being small land masses that people aren't supposed to go to, where fucking stuff just goes on. Thunderbirds. Fucking every James Bond bad guy worth his fucking soul, you know. So
it's kind of fucked it though, hasn't it? Because I mean, you know, if I was a fucking multi-billionaire, wherever they are, these bastards, I think it'd be lovely to own an island. Jeffrey fucking Epstein has spoiled that for everybody that can own an island.
I think if you can own an island, I don't fucking think you care. I think you just go to your island, get away from it. It's a great, like, it's a fascinating idea, isn't it? And it's interesting that he starts talking about this, because I mean, let's not pretend that there isn't a slightest possibility that fucking Weinstein's some sort of asset. I just think it's fascinating that he brings this up right now.
Yeah, it really is. I was blown away by that interview. I'm like, what is he saying? What is he actually saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Come on, then. Like, the tackle out. What's the if you had to what, like,
if I had
60 seconds or less, what's the broad stroke on it? What
I
did it
think
leave
he's
you
saying
feeling
there.
with? Yeah.
What I think, I mean, I am a mere like
retard,
ginger bearded warrior.
Almost.
I think it sounds like what he's saying is that Jeffrey Epstein had something to do with the science community. He knew a lot about fucking Weinstein's work, and don't you dare knock that over, mate. Honestly, you'll be in the bad books. He knew a lot about Weinstein's work, and maybe the reason why this is all happening right now has nothing to do with the victims of the island. That's what it sounds like he's saying.
Yeah. See, I go a step further, and like, I think it's, I think the subtext of this is Weinstein trying to say, you're being deceived.
Yes.
Yeah, you're being deceived. This is not what it appears to be, as the old intro would say. And what, Joe, what? How depressing! Like, not that people haven't been being like abused on an island by millionaires and Bill Gates and stuff like that. Two factors here. Actually,
what if they haven't? What
but
if
this is no. But,
what if a totally different thing has been going on that island?
Right. Do you know what's even more terrifying then? If it wasn't some sort of Mossad-led like honey trap, where it's Mossad CIA like joint psyop. The most terrifying thing is that all these people that supposedly there's so much dirt on with them doing like terrible fucking disgusting things. If that's not true, that means they're not doing these things because they're coerced to do them. The blackmail isn't there. They're doing this because it's an organized effort. That's more terrifying.
But that's probably the reason why we ain't gonna get the fucking list.
Well, in this reality, there's no list. There's no list to be had.
Nope, no list at all.
There's no list. There's no client. No, and I mean that in this reality, in this, there is no list because there was no client list.
So going back to Jism Lane, is what's she going to say?
Who's going to say that she isn't part of the?
Yeah, if you were a betting man, what do you think is going to come out of that?
If I was a betting man, I'd say she'd die in prison.
You think what you think she's going to be Epsteined?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or it's or this is to blow the whistle on something else. Like there's so many weird things, right? When you think about it. So I don't not believe the idea that Trump wasn't more involved. I don't want him to be involved. I don't want anyone to be involved in that stuff. But there's been a very sharp shift in tone over the Epstein stuff. When he was arrested, like Trump back in the day was very nonchalant about saying, I knew Jeff, didn't particularly like him, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Banned him from his hotels.
Well, apparently, there's no. I don't believe there's any evidence of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, he didn't tell me personally, no.
No, that's but I mean, the supposed the supposed thing is that he was hitting on like the younger staff members, and he was being inappropriate with them, and Trump banned him.
Do you
from
know
the hotel.
something? I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe it,
because I think if you're like a sexual deviant like Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, you have all the power. You have a fucking island.
You're for, but this is the thing. We're trying to, and we're not saying. Let's not say this is like.
No, but just let me finish, because all I'm going to say there is I don't think they would do it in public. I think they
no. This is why not? Why not? But they all do. Sexual deviants do display in public.
I think see what you've just done.
But what you've just done is you've just done what Eric Weinstein talked about in the interview. In all words, we're trying to work outside the box here of what this could be. You've just gone disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. You've just brought it back. Like, I don't think that a sexual deviant would have done that.
Well, yeah, because they're telling me he's a sexual deviant.
No, but what I'm saying
I kind of think they're probably right. They probably were.
Why though? Because you've been told that this is exactly what.
See, yeah, but I think this is designed. I think this is. I go back to what I said halfway through this show. I think they know that the conspiracy community, not even just the conspiracy community, just the normal fucking people of planet Earth, are gonna all start going, he didn't do it. It was something else.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
absolutely.
Epstein was working for so-and-so. This is the reason.
Be. But the thing is,
mark my words, this will happen.
I know. I think you're right. I think this is good. But in the same way that we stopped going aliens from space. They might be interdimensional. They might be angels.
Probably this time next year, we're having this conversation. Going, do you remember what we said on that show last year?
Yeah. But the thing is, without QAnon, do we get Jeffrey Epstein? I don't think it happens. And if that's true, then that, and I believe I believe QAnon was a psyop. I believe there might have been hints of truth inside it, but I believe that was a psyop.
You see, Elon Musk posted a massive Q the other day.
It doesn't surprise me.
It was a queue with loads of like coded stuff in there, like Matrix.
We've always said on this show that the truth is probably much stranger than anything we can possibly imagine, and it's all of the Epstein talk, all of it. If it was bullshit, just think about the hours of, and I don't just mean like conspiracy commentators like us. I mean like genuinely fucking useful, intelligent people that have the audience out there that genuinely make a difference. Think of the time wasted if it's bullshit.
This is why you got to keep an open mind for every part of a conspiracy.
Yeah, absolutely. Years. And you see, we have such a fetish for confirmation bias in the UFO community, not UFO, in the conspiracy community, me included, you included, everybody listen to this podcast. Like, we want the evidence to tell us. I mean, we say like these people, the monsters need to be stopped, but we will want the evidence And if evidence comes up to the contrary that like Bill Gates isn't trying to kill the world, we're like, no, it's fucking psyop. He definitely wants to kill the world. We salivate over it. And what if it's busy work? You know, I've said before, there's that thing, isn't it, called the bullshit hypothesis? The bullshit hypothesis is that all conspiracy theories are bullshit, apart from the conspiracy theory that all conspiracy theories are bullshit, and everything's just put out there to just bullshit is churned out. So it takes the time off of people that would actually look into the government, look into things that would actually make the world better, because they're too busy chasing their tails on bullshit.
You're telling me that every night I come up here
and you devour bullshit with me?
Fucking
I like genuinely that I hadn't heard that before, because I tried to listen to it earlier on and fell asleep because I'm still shattered. It's mind blown, right? Overused term, mind blown. But that's paradigm breaking.
Well, this is why you're 100% shift, because you can be 100% on something the other day and then 100% the next month.
Yeah, exactly.
In the opposite direction.
Yep.
And I think that's what everybody's got to do, because we do that. If something else comes to the table with the conspiracy guys, we ain't gonna fucking stay on the mainstream.
We're not. We might get like sued for that. We're definitely not the conspiracy guys. Those conspiracy guys are over there. We're just conspiracy chaps.
Did I say that we're those conspiracy guys? I didn't mean to. I would like to speak to those conspiracy guys.
I would love to speak to Gordo. He was like, I was hopefully going to get him on the podcast ages ago, and it never materialized. I've spoken to him. I'd love to get Gordo on the show, but we'll focus on Sam Tripoli first. Keep the dream alive, people. He said he'd come on. Let's push it.
It's going to be a wild conversation that with Sam. Yeah.
So yeah, I look. It's just isn't it amazing that we live in a world where the idea that somebody wasn't running an international child sex trafficking ring involving the most connected, powerful people in the world, isn't it crazy that is the wild thing? It should be the fact that the story should be the wild thing, but now the idea that it's not true is even wilder than the idea it's true.
Is it just me, though? Is that the only person who's kind of even gave an inkling to that? Is Eric Weinstein? Has anybody else ever said that? I mean, I know Candace Owens. She thinks
I'll look. I'm
Harvey
going to
Weinstein's innocent, doesn't she?
I'm going to call a spade a small shovel here. I think Candace Owens is stupid. I think she's a provocateur, and I think she's essentially like a clickbait machine. I genuinely don't believe there is any I don't believe there's any value in her, because I think she's
my
just
wife loves
salacious. Her. I think she's just salacious for the thing, and she will twist on a fucking dime, whichever way the wind blows. I remember. See, this is the thing. I remember. I was called controlled opposition for that as well the other day. You see, I think people.
See, I don't mind Candace Owens.
No, but if you don't mind Candace Owens, what you should do is go back and listen to her interview with Joe Rogan, where she came across as a fucking retard.
I did listen to that, to be fair. Yeah.
But, it's like,
but could it not be that she's grown since then?
No, I think she's stupid. I think she's a stupid person. I just think she was. See, she was in the she was in the position where she could be, where it was starting to become cool and alternative, because the left was rising the way it was rising in this wild, ridiculous way. You could become the, I guess, shock jock type of like conservative commentator, and I think she was just very smart in the way she did that. And then what happened with her with like the Daily Wire, even better. I think she used those things very well. So I don't think she's stupid. That's not what that. It's probably not the right word. I think I can't really think of the word for her, to be perfectly honest. I think she's an opportunist. But yeah, I've listened to her podcast a couple of times now. I've tried to done it. I've never found anything of value in it. And I've always come out of it feeling slightly more stupid than I went in.
Okay, so she's not on your top 10 then, no?
No, she's probably not on the guest list anymore either.
Well, mate, you look like you need to get to bed. I need to go check on the kids. Mate, I need to see if my wife is actually come home. Actually, she nipped out to help my mum. But
yeah, it's just.
But mate,
it's Ollie's wife comes limping in the back door at fucking 2:00 in the morning.
No, the milkman's were gone. He's away.
And yet she was still creamed.
I just want to say a massive thank you to, because I've been keeping an eye on the numbers while you've been away, and it's fucking overwhelming how many people are listening to the podcast on a daily basis. Guys, if you're new to this podcast and you've listened, how long do they need to have listened to before they can leave a 5-star review?
I think you need to. I think you either need to listen. I think you need to listen to 5 hours.
5 hours. So if you've listened to 5 hours, you could probably leave that 5-star review.
So it's a week.
If you've listened to 5 hours, we deserve 5 stars, people.
Yeah, but if you listen to a week, you can leave a review. They all matter. The algorithm loves comments. Please, I literally when we were doing the podcast, I checked that, and someone had posted 56 minutes ago, as of reading this, just leaving a comment for the algo. I already listened on Patreon. Well worth the sub for anyone interested. That's what we need. We need someone that's over there paying on the Patreon, and then still has the love to pick the Spotify app up and leave a review for us.
Fucking sexy bastard.
God damn awesome that is. But yeah, we will be soon as well. Not obviously this podcast is under a year old.
Still a baby.
We're coming towards our first birthday. And although maybe not record breaking numbers for Joe Rogan or anything like that, very shortly, in the next month, we are going to be able to do our countdown to 1 million downloads of the life of this podcast, which is, not 1 million downloads, because I'm not going to lift the curtain back too much because it's boring on statistics, but 1 million listens, 1 million streams on Spotify. So that's Spotify alone. We are approaching 1 million streams. And we're a couple of 100,000 away. It won't take long to get there, a couple of months, something like that. But we will definitely be leading some sort of countdown for that. It would be amazing. We've got 1,400 5-star reviews as of now. I know there are 7,000-8,000 followers. So that's not the amount of people that listen to the podcast, but there is at least 7,500 people out there that listen to us on Spotify that follow us. So there's more of you guys than that could leave a review. So if you haven't left a 5-star review on Spotify, please do. We want to push towards 2,000 5-star reviews. That would be fucking incredible if we could do that. I don't think it's ridiculous to say if everyone pitched in that hasn't left a review, I think we could go from 1,400 to 2,000 before the end of the year if you guys really push it.
If we got to 2,000 this year, I'd suck my own dick.
I mean, it's fucking Tuesday as we record this, Ollie. I don't understand what that makes any difference to your daily habits as it is.
I get a rib removed, you know. It's like,
oh, you'd get it removed.
That's what Prince did, apparently. Do you remember that conspiracy?
Yeah,
Prince got a rib removed.
Well, yeah, but they said it about Marilyn Manson as well, didn't they? Again, bullshit. But yeah, so you can do that. Go over to the Patreon. We'll have to work out what we're going to do this month for the Patreon Live. There will be a Patreon Live at some point, but it might be you might end up with 2 Patreon Lives next month, like one early in the month and one late in the month, because I have a funny feeling Ollie.
I'm away all next week. Next week, but I might be back before the end of the month, though. I think I am.
No, I think you're back. I think the end of the month starts at the beginning of a week.
Oh yeah, so it might go into that week.
So it might end up on the first Saturday of August.
Yeah, but you still get the fucking patron. You still get the video.
Yeah, there'll still be. We'll work that out. We'll work that around. There will be like a live stream for you guys, but it might not be at the end of this month. It might be the very beginning of next month. It's just going to have to be a bit fluid. We need to work that out. We need to work a couple of things out for your week of debauchery. So anyway, that's not what I was going to try and say. Yeah, go to the Patreon. Drop us $5.99. You get ad-free podcast, whatever platform you listen to. You can do the fucking video early. The video does get released on like YouTube, and it can either be like up on YouTube 10-15 hours later, sometimes a day, sometimes 2 days, depending on what the schedule is for uploading videos. So you get the videos early. There's a merch down there. Again, there's been a load of people in the comments, loads of love as well. Like, there's been a couple of people that have given it the whole, I missed the old intro. Far more positive vibes on the new intro than negative ones. So yeah.
Also, this intro is it's a lot safer for us because we know for us. At some point we because though we'd mixed Lee had mixed all the intro himself, it was using royalty-free music, which we kindly was given permission to use. However, we've used royalty-free music before, and we've seen on YouTube after a while they start certain companies start coming after you for royalty-free music. So
yeah,
to be on the safe side, Lee knows a band.
Yeah, no band, friends of mine, and so it's nice. But yeah, what I was going to say for those people that are digging it, please go over to Spotify, look for "Call Me Amor." The link is in the description of this podcast. They've got a YouTube channel as well if you want to go and check their music videos out. They've got if you check out their social media posts, they've got some upcoming shows in the UK that you can go and check out. So yeah, again, another big thank you to those guys for letting us use that music.
Also, they customized it for us and took the vocals out, and the vocals are fucking sweet as well. But
yeah,
we just got the instrumental.
You will probably get a video as well at some point once Tiny Hands finishes.
We will. I've already started it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't care until you finished it. So thanks very much, people. Again, we fucking smashed our way through trying to fucking plug and thank you guys at the same time here. But you know, it's all from a place of love, even if we're not the very best in the world at selling our wares at the end of shows. We will be back tomorrow with more conspiracy hijinks. Thank you very much. Ollie, take me out.
Put in your bum.
Thank you. Now back to Ray in the studio.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids. Visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.